Kazuya Mishima is easily one of the most iconic characters in Tekken since his debut in 1994. His story arc literally embodies you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. In the eyes of the Tekken fan base, he has managed to accomplish both, where he has become a very polarizing character to all. Some players say that Kazuya is perfectly fair and honest character that uses high risk reward playstyles. Other players think that Kazuya is heavily handicapped because most of his offensive options can be stepped left and that his poking isn't the best. Then you have these kind of people, the ones that everybody knows and no one can stand. These are the type of people who harp on Kazuya's execution and how he is fair because he is hard to use. These are the type of players that practice Electric Wind God Fist for hours, days, months, and even years, but in an actual match they still punish everything minus 14 or higher with 1-1-2. These are the type of people who can wave dash on both sides but still get clipped by wake up hop kicks because they forgot how to block. There are definitely many takes that people have on Kazuya, the worst of them being on Reddit, Twitter, Facebook groups. But this time I thought I'll just give my stance on what I think makes Kazuya actually broken. Reason 1. Movement. In fighting games, movement tends to be one of the most critical aspects of fighting games. This is something that beginners and some intermediate players tend to overlook. For example, in a game like Street Fighter, there are only two planes of movements. That will be the X and Y plane. What makes movement complex and hard is the fact that every character in Street Fighter has different movement speeds. These movement speeds dictate how you can control the neutral by moving in and out of the range of your opponent's various attacks. Now going back to Kazuya and Tekken, and more specifically Tekken 7, movement has been severely nerfed. This nerf gave Mishima's in general an unexpected buff, seeing as though Kazuya has the best whiff punishment tool in the game, the Electric Wind God Fist, a high launcher that can range from 13 to 14 frames with perfect execution. The thing that makes the Electric Wind God Fist even more dangerous is not only that it recovers fast when whiffing, it's +5 on block, you can do it out of a wave dash, and it has a thick juicy hitbox. Tekken 7 nerfed movement cripples your defensive options when dealing with an overpowered move like the Electric Wind God Fist. I mean, sure you can duck it, but doing that would be a death sentence. Nerfed movement has also unintentionally buffed Hell Sweeps. Although Hell Sweeps are a lot easier to sidestep than Electric Wind God Fist, what makes them so hard to step and dangerous is the fact that every character who wave dashes at you can realign with you, making sidestepping Kazuya a nightmare. Essentially, Kazuya benefits from nerf movement of Tekken 7 and possibly Tekken 8. This is an unpopular take, but I think Tekken 4 had the right idea. If developers are going to nerf new movement, they need to nerf a move like the Electric Wind God Fist. The Electric Wind God Fist should only be a counter hit launcher. I think they're going to keep the Electric Wind God Fist the way it is, but if they're going to do that, I think they should actually up the speed to at least Tekken Tag Tournament 2 as regards to movement. Reason 2. Moveset. This is something that is compounding off of the previous point of movement. To beginners, at first glance, there is nothing about Kazuya move list that screams overpowered or unfair. The devil is in the details when it comes to Kazuya though. He isn't your typical poke heavy character, but he doesn't need to be. What makes him broken to me is the fact that he can poke well enough while still having some of the best punishment in the game. When it comes to the neutral game, he dominates with the Electric Wind God Fist, not just as a punishment tool, but to keep out overly aggressive opponents. With complementary moves like while standing 4, down forward 4, down back 4, down back 3, back 4, and forward 3 to keep you honest, and punish you in neutral. Block punishment is a whole nother beast on its own, with almost every punishment tool he has leading to a launcher or a knockdown. Once you are knocked down by Kazuya is where he goes from an A tier character to an S tier character in my own opinion. The wave dash and hell sweep that I mentioned earlier will make you want to rage quit the game. Wave dashing realigns where now you have to worry about the 50-50 vortex that Kazuya imposes on you. The hell sweep is a 16 frame unseeable low that knocks down and wall splats, while the vortex the hell sweep has more that complements it, like forward 3, forward 4, down forward 1, while standing 1-2, forward 4, down back 4, while standing 4, while standing 1+2, while standing 3+4, while standing 2, down back 2, and up forward 3. Almost all of these moves put you back in an unfavorable situation when dealing with Kazuya's Vortex. His counter hit game is definitely broken, with the mention of the infamous down forward 2 perfect electric. I will say this disclaimer right now. I know that is extremely hard to do something like that on a consistent basis. With that being said though, the fact that something like that exists in the first place is scary. With the lack of movement, Kazuya's really strong moveset and game plan makes him a nightmare to fight in all levels. Reason 3, Rage. In my opinion, this is the thing that makes Kazuya absolutely busted. It's almost like Tekken 7 was tailor-made to Kazuya. In older games like T6, you would literally have to have no health in order to get access to Rage. With the addition of Rage Arts and Rage Drives in Tekken 7 and the requirement to accessing Rage being 25%, Namco decided that it would be a good idea to give Kazuya his devil form. I wouldn't have a problem with him having his devil form if it were like Tag 2 and his Electric Wind God Fist wasn't a mid and was still a high, and Hell Sweeps don't lead into Heaven's Door. If you think that isn't bad, the Rage Drive can be spent in 2 ways. You can either spin the Rage Drive on a Thunder God Fist that combos that will lead you turning into Devil Kazuya and also as a high crush, or you can spin the Rage Drive turning straight into Devil Kazuya. Remember how I said earlier that the Electric Wind God Fist is the best launcher in the game? Well, it's even worse when it comes to Devil Kazuya. The Electric Wind God Fist now becomes a mid and now it's only -6 on block. The only weakness the move had is now gone, so now it's a true mid-low mix-up from Hell Sweep to Electric Wind God Fist. Not to mention Kazuya gets his standing twin pistons back, which adds to the fun. Plus forward 4 now gets Hiyachi properties if he catches you ducking. In conclusion, I can get everybody's points of view when it comes down to the argument when it comes to Kazuya. Please leave your comments below. I'll catch you next time.